Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. If you have not yet found a spot that is appropriately distanced from anyone who does not live in your household, we invite you to find that spot. If you do not have a book, there are so many in the back. You want to make sure you have the prayer book that we'll be using today. And let's begin.
Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, how wonderful are your tents, your dwelling places, these sanctuaries, O Jacob. Page 192 in the big thick book. For any of you who picked up a skinny copy, page 74, we'll join together. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Vani merov chastecha avo veitecha eshtecha el heichal kodshecha beiratecha. Let's all try it together. Ma tovu. Here we go. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Israel. Amen.
Amen. Well, Shabbat Shalom. It is just a
Shabbat
joyful,
Shalom.
joyful morning here at Congregation Beth Israel. First of all, because it's Shabbat, and that is just joyful in and of itself on its own. Anytime we gather together for Shabbat, we have this opportunity for a deep breath, for peace, a chance to put all of our phones away, like actually away, not just behind us, but like actually 100% away, like maybe even turned off away. Actually, I should probably be directing it over here. Maybe over here and over here. Let's all put our phones away so we can be fully present here with Zoe this morning. This is reason number 2 why we are filled with joy this morning, because this morning Zoe Drachler becomes a bat mitzvah. And Zoe, we've been working together for a while. You've been working together with a few of the people here. Even this summer at Camp Stein, raise a little woot woot from my Camp Stein family here. There we go. I'm seeing many of you here. I was a lightning, stormy kind of day, and we were in the Chader Ochel because we couldn't leave because there was lightning, and we were practicing the Haftorah blessings, weren't we? That's what we were doing this summer. So it is nice, Zoe, to see these faces here supporting you as you lead us in those blessings and so many others this morning. For those of you who have not been to a bar bat mitzvah or not been to one here at CBI, this is the book that we'll be using this morning. It's called Mishkan Tefillah, and it goes in the Hebrew direction, which means that what seems like the back is actually the front, and what seems like the front is actually the back. And on each page, or most of the pages, you'll see we have the Hebrew to follow along in. Next to the Hebrew, you have transliteration. So even if you've never spoken a word of Hebrew in your life, you'll be able to follow along. Under that, we have a fairly direct translation. And on the left-hand side of the page, we have interpretive readings and poetry. So Cantor and I will be calling page numbers as we go. But if you get lost, don't worry. Take a minute, enjoy the page that you're on, because as we say, sometimes it's the page on which you are meant to be. And soon enough, we'll call another page number and we'll help you out. So with that, I think we are ready to really begin. And Zoe, we can't start your bat mitzvah until you are wearing a talit, or a prayer shawl, which is a symbol of Jewish adulthood and a symbol of the mitzvot the commandments that you are taking on today. So we would like to invite your grandparents to the bima to present you with your talit.
The bat mitzvah is the ceremonial coming of age of a young girl in Judaism. In 1955, I had my bar mitzvah, but at that time, bat mitzvahs were unusual. In fact, 1 week before my bar mitzvah, was the first bat mitzvah at our temple in Detroit. So now, 66 years later, I'm thrilled to be here and witness Zoe's bat mitzvah, my granddaughter, who will recite Genesis 37, Vayeshev, the same Torah portion that I had. And now we have the honor to present to her the talit.
I guess you all want to hear me. As we place the talit over your shoulders, I hope you experience a feeling of warmth, joy, and proud, as though our arms are around you. We love you.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. All right, Zoe, now that you have your talit on and you're ready, I'm going to invite you to come on up to the bima as we turn to page 198 for Birkot HaShachar, the blessings of every day.
And after each blessing, we will respond with Amen.
Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nantan lasech vivina lechavhin ben yom uvelayla, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Amen.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Amen.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim, who frees the captive.
Amen.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim, who lifts up the fallen.
Amen.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Amen.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam chamachim et tzadei gaver, who strengthens our steps.
Amen.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim, who clothes the naked.
Amen.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten la'ayef koach, who gives strength to the weary.
Amen.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir she'na me'enai u'tnuma me'afapai, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim, who made me in the image of God.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani bat chorin, who has made me free.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael, who has made me a Jew.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Ozer Yisrael bigvura, who girds Israel with strength.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Oter Yisrael petit farah, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Amen.
Let's continue now on page 218. Let's continue now on page 218, where we find Psalm 150, our psalm of joy and our chance to say hallelujah.
Thanks, buddy. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah,
Hallelujah. 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 Let's all try that. Hallelujah.
hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah,
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Birki Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Bigavuratam. Hallelujah. Kerov. Let's all try clapping our hands.
hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Sing hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah. 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 Beteka shofar. Hallelujah. Benevel vechinor. Hallelujah. Betofu machor. Hallelujah. Beminim velkam. Hallelujah. 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 Metzil Tzalei Shama. Hallelujah. Metzil Tzalei Trua. Kol HaNeshama Tehalleliyah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's get everybody clapping now. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
224. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rapa.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malechutei. Be'chai echon v'yamechon v'chai d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala u'vizman kari ve'imeru. Amen. Yehi shemei rapa mevarach. Le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'yitvar v'yitama v'naseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן פעלמה וימרו. Amen.
Let's stand and continue on page 226 for the Baruch Hu. Now that we have warmed up, we are ready to fully enter our prayer. Page 228.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvorei choshech oseh shalom uvorei et hakol.
Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha berachamim uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam b'chochma asita mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha selah.
Or chadash on Zion ta'ir v'nizkechu lanu meheira le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'meorot.
We continue in the English on page 230.
How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion, on account of our forebears who trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us, by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah. Focus our minds on your mitzvot. Unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth and lead us upright to our land. Great, you, God, your wonders. You chose us. Truly, you drew us near the great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise to be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love.
Baruch atah Adonai, abocher v'mo Yisrael pe'yahava.
You may be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol meodecha vechayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anuchi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha veshinantan levanecha bedivartam bam beshivtecha vedeha uvleftecha vaderech ushofbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leota yadecha vechayu letotafot beineinecha uvtavtam al mezuzot beiteha uvisharecha leman tiskeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'etem kedoshim le'Elohehem ani Adonai Elohehem asher hotzeti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohehem Adonai Elohehem Emet.
We continue responsively with Zoe on page 239.
The eternal truth is that you alone are God and there is none else. May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and spears into pruning hooks. Let the nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war any more. You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart. The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you, O strangers, in the land of Egypt. Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asks God. We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy. Praise to God Most High. Blessed is God and deserving of blessing.
We join together in Micha Mocha, a song celebrating our freedom from slavery in Egypt, as well as the triumph that we have over our daily struggles. Page 240, we're going to begin with a little nigun, and we'll invite you to clap your hands. Yai, lai, lai, la, lai, la, 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 lai, yai, lai, lai, la, lai, la, 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 lai, ya, lai, la, lai, lai, ya, la, 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 lai, ya, la, la, lai, lai, ya, la, 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 lai. Micha mocha ba, elimano, lai, micha mocha nehedar bakodesh, nogate hilo tosefele, nogate hilo tosefele. We sing a new song, Shira Chadashah, Shira Chadashah, Shivech Geuli, Leshimcha Lesemvat Hayom, Yachad Kulam Hodu Ve'imlichu, Hodu Ve'imlichu, Ve'amru Ya la 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 la, lai 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 la lai la 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 lai 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 la lai la 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 lai 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 la lai lai ya la 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 lai ya la la lai lai ya lai 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 lai. Adonai himloch leolam vaed. Tzun Yisrael, kulma be'ezrat Yisrael, ulfedechnu mecha Yehuda be'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai tzvaot shemo, Kedosh Israel, Baruch atah Adonai, Kehilah Israel.
We'll continue on page 242 or 124 if you are in the book that only has one version of the numbers. And then we will continue with the Amidah, which is our standing prayer, our opportunity to connect both as a community and as individuals. So we will lead us in these prayers. Let's stand.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Anorah El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Hasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei Vneihem, Leman Shemo Be'achava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Vezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuah Umorid HaGashem, Mechakel Hayim V'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umechaye Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Mihamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Me'elach, Melech Me'mit U'Mechaye, U'Matni Av Yeshua, V'ne'emanata L'chachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol.
And we remain standing for the Kedushah on page 248 or 130. Nekadesh et Shimcha ba'olam, Keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, Kakatuv al yad neviecha, Vekaraz el zevei amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tsevaot, Meloch ol haaretz, Kevodo. Adir Adireinu, Adonai, Adoneinu, Madir Shimcha bechol haaretz. Baruch kevod Adonai, Mimkomo echad hu Eloheinu, U'avinu hu malkeinu, U'moshienu ve'hu yashmienu, Merachamav le'nei kol echai, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai le'olam. Haitzion, Letor Vator, Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. Letor Vator, Letor Vator, Letor Vator, Nagikol Lecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Kedushacha Nakdish, Letor Vator, Letor Vator, Letor Vator, Nagikol Lecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Kedushacha Nakdish, Veshivchacha Eloheinu, Mipinu lo yamush leolam va'ed, Ki el melech gadol, Ki el melech gadol, Vekadoshata, Letor Vator, Letor Vator, Letor Vator, Nagikol Lecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Kedushacha Nakdish, Baruch Atah Adonai, HaKadosh.
Let's be seated. We'll continue on page 250 or 132 with Yismachu. Remember how we talked about joy at the beginning and all of the many reasons we have to be joyful. And especially after, the 2 years we've had, we savor every moment of joy and we lift it up. And Yismachu is our prayer of joy.
Malechutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Bekorei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Bekorei Oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei Shevi Shabbat. Everyone, Yismechu b'malechutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Bekorei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Bekorei Oneg Shabbat. V'hashvi'i rasita bo, Ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat. Chemdati yamim, yamim u'tocharat Shabbat. Let's all try that. Yismechu b'malechutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Bekorei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Bekorei Oneg Shabbat. Seichel lemasei, lemasei v'reishit Shabbat. Seichel lemasei, lemasei v'reishit Shabbat.
Look, sometimes you just gotta woo.
You just gotta woo.
Just gotta woo. Go
Woo is
ahead and
good.
woo if you gotta woo. Page 253, 135. We offer thanks, O God, for the Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope together, for Shabbat holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Even in our joy, we find time for silence, prayer, and meditation. Take this moment for yourself, and we'll come back together with a prayer for peace.
We joined the world this weekend in mourning the loss of the greatest musical theater composer of our generation, Stephen Sondheim, who passed away yesterday morning. And he was a prophet, and he enabled us to give voice to our emotions. And any of you who sing, any of you who have ever listened to a piece of music, you will have been touched by Stephen Sondheim's creativity. And so the Sim Shalom, the prayer for peace that we will sing together, was inspired by Send in the Clowns from A Little Night Music. This setting composed by Dr. Michael Isaacson. Let's see if you can hear it. Sim Shalom, Tova uvracha ba'olam, chen v'chesed, v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael hamecha. Barecheinu yotzreinu, barecheinu yotzreinu, kulanu ke'echad אחד ביור פניך כי ביור פניך נתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו תורת חיים ואהבת חסד וצדקה וברכה ורחמים וחיים ושלום וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. אמן.
We have come now to the point in our service where we will open the Torah and read from Parshat Vayeshev, which Zoe will teach us about. It is the ongoing story of Joseph, who is one of Jacob's many sons, but the son who was favored by his parents, well, by his father, favored by his father because he was the beloved son of Jacob's favorite wife, Rachel. And in Rachel's absence, Joseph showed all of his love to his son, Joseph. You may remember, speaking of musicals, it's the wrong composer, right?
What do you mean? It's the right composer, it's just not Stephen Sondheim. It's Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Right. I just, I don't know as much about musicals as you do. But if it was the same composer, that would have been like a moment.
Yeah, that would have.
It's not.
But I guarantee you, Andrew Lloyd Webber is also mourning the loss of Stephen Sondheim. So it, it
So it all
resonates.
ties together. It ties together because music moves us. Because music and theater and art move us to tell stories. And so we know that as Zoe teaches us today, while she has not completed one assignment for her bat mitzvah, which was to watch Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, it will be like dessert after your bat mitzvah. You'll have the chance to watch that. But we do know that art is something that inspires you, that inspires all of us, and inspires this vivid storytelling that you will hear about today. And so in a few moments, Zoe will have the chance to tell us this story in her way about what has moved her about the story of Joseph and what she has to teach us. So we'll get to that in just a few moments. But there's another story that we are also enacting right now, which is the story of how Torah gets passed from generation to generation. And so in a few moments, what you'll see is Zoe, her mother, and her grandparents coming up to the bima, holding the Torah that has been significant in the lives of our congregation and in your family, as the dressing over the Torah is the one that comes from the original TBI, before it was CBI campus. And so the passing of the Torah also tells the story of the generations. And we imagine from one end all of the generations of Zoe's family that had to pass Torah both physically and metaphorically in order for it to come to Zoe's hands today. And we also imagine the generations yet to come, the people for whom Zoe will tell the story. Zoe will do the teaching, inspired by moments like this one today through art and music and prayer. And so in just a moment, I'm going to ask a couple people to come up. So to pass the Torah from generation to generation, Zoe's grandparents, David and Carol Drachler, her mother, Laura Drachler, and Zoe, of course, you. And to represent the future, the people who are receiving Torah, Zoe, we are excited to invite some of your camp friends, Sloan, Perry, and Jesse, our friends from that day when we were sequestered in the Char Ochel because of the lightning, practicing those Haftarah blessings. You all are going to open up the ark for us today. Let's all stand as we take out the Torah and prepare to pass it from generation to generation.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kema'asecha, malechutecha, malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai himloch leolam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom, avarachamim, heitiv avir tzonecha, et Zion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, ki v'chol levad batachnu, melech el ram v'nisa, Adon olamim, ki mitzion teitzei Torah, ki mitzion teitzei Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad, echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yachdav. Ledor vador nagid kod lecha, Ledor vador we protect this chain from generation to generation. Ledor vador these lips will praise your name. Lecha Adonai, Agitullah, Ve'agifurah, Ve'hatiferet, Ve'hanetzach, Ve'hahod, Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Lecha Adonai, Hamamlacha, Ve'haminaseh lechol lerosh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lecha kodosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lecha kodosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Al שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים.
So we have come now to reading the Torah itself. If you are following along in the Chumash, that's the longer book, the bigger book that has the whole Torah in it, we are in Parshat Vayeshev, page 248, though my understanding is you also have it in your pamphlet, so you might not need the whole big book. This is what I wanted to tell. Do you want to tell everyone about this beautiful yad that you're using?
Sure.
But into the microphone so they can hear you.
My mom and I got to design this yad that I'll be reading out of the Torah today. It says my Hebrew name, that's Devorah, and I also got to design the different beads on it as well with my mom.
So that means now that you have your own yad that is personal to you,
Yes.
it means you'll be reading a lot of Torah.
Yes.
So we will be sure to give you a call when we have Torah reading meetings.
You are all witnesses to that.
All right, and for our first aliyah this morning, we are delighted to invite your dad, John Henderson, and his wife, Pamela Henderson. That's what I was looking for. Thank goodness you're here.
יעמוד יוחנן בן אברהם ושרה, תעמוד פרל צביה בת אשר יהודה, ודרייבה ליבי, יעמדו ראשון.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayeshev Yaakov beretz megurei aviv, beretz kenoan, eile toldot Yaakov, Yotzef ben Sheva Esei Shana, Chaya Choer et Ehav Batzon, Vechunar et Bnei Vilha, Ve'et Bnei Zilpa, Neshei Aviv, Vainave Yotzef et Divar Tam Cha'ar El Havihem, Vayisrael Ahav et Yotzef Mikol Banav, Kivin Zikunim Hu Lo Ve'asalo Ketonet Pasim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, B'chaye olam nota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
For our second aliyah, we invite Zoe's grandparents, David and Carol Drachler, thank you, Yasher Koach, and your brother, Max Drachler. Oh, do you want this?
Yamod David, Tamod Vegela, Yamod Nachman, Yamdu Sheni.
Remember this?
Yeah.
No transliteration for you.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. Venatan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayu echav kiyoto ahav avihem mikol echav vayisnu oto velo lachnu davera lesholom. Vaya halom yotsef halom. Vaya get le'ehav. Vaya sifu ot seno oto. Vaya omer alehem shimuna. Ahalom hazeh asher
halamti.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torat emet. V'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yasher Koach. Come stand on the other side. For our next aliyah, we invite Zoe's mom, Laura Drachler. Come on up.
Ta'amod Shoshana bat David v'Vegela. Ta'amod Shelishi.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvarah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vehine anachnu me'alemim alumim betor hasadeh. Vehine kama alumati veganin sava. Vehine tesubena almotehem. Vatishta havena la alumoti. Vayomru lo echav achalov timlof aleinu imashol timshol banu. Vayasifu ot seno oto al halomotav ve'al devorav. Vaya halomot halom echer vayisaper oto le'ehav vayomer hine halamti halom od vechinei hashemesh vechayareyad asar kohavim mishtahavim li.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natah betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Now, the next aliyah, this is when we call Zoe to chant the blessing before the Torah portion, before the reading. And this is the moment. Everything that Zoe's done so far can be done by any Jewish person who knows how. But to bless the reading before the Torah, that is something that one needs to be an adult in the eyes of the community in order to do. So, Zoe, this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. This is the moment when you actually become bat mitzvah right before our eyes, and while you and your essence and the person you are stays exactly the same, we acknowledge how far you have come and how excited we are to see everything yet to come before us.
Ta'amod, ta'amod, habachura habat mitzvah Shoshana, habachura habat mitzvah Devorah, bat Shoshana, chazak, chazak, v'nitchazik.
Baruch et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayisaper el aviv ve'el ehav vayigarbo aviv vayomer lo ma ahalom hazeh asher halamta havo navo ani veimecha veochecha lehishtachavot lecha artsa vayikanu vo ehav ve'aviv shamar et hadavar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Then we offer a big Yasher Koach. Yasher Koach, which means if you keep on going the way you're going to go very far. Zoe, why don't you have a seat and relax for just a moment. With the Torah in front of us, we draw strength from its teaching as we think of those who are in need of healing this morning. If there is someone you are thinking of today who is in need of healing, we invite you to share their names out loud if you are here with us in the room, or if you're with us virtually, to put them into the chat online. Page 371.
Misheberach Avotenu ve'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel ve'Leah, hu yevarech hu yerapeh ha'cholim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Imale Rachamim Aleichem, Lehachalimam, Ulerapotam, Ulehachazikam, Veishlach Lachem Mehera Refuah, Refuah Shlema Min Hashamayim, Refuat HaNefesh Urufat HaGuf, Hashta Bagalav Isman Kariv Venomar, Amen.
May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
We stand once more to lift and dress the Torah. Max, if you'll come help us out once more, we'd appreciate that.
Hang on. Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Israel al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah tziva lanu Moshe, 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 Torah tziva lanu Moshe.
We turn now to our Haftarah reading. Haftarah is the supplemental reading that we come to the tradition of chanting after the reading of Torah in times when we were not permitted to read Torah out loud. The Haftarah was a sort of subversive way of sharing the lessons of the Haftarah reading. So we will be reading today from Amos. If you are in the Plout, it is page 263. If you're just in the regular Siddur, you won't find it. And I don't believe this is in the... It is not. So if you want, you can listen to Zoe's beautiful chanting, or you can get the other Chumash from the back.
It's going to sound magical.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar bin v'im tovim veratza v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai chabocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'imviei ha'emet v'tzedek. Ko amar Adonai al shelosha pishe Yisrael ve'alaba lo ashivenu al mikra pakeset sadik ve'vion Banavura nalayim Hashoafim al ha'pa'eretz berosh dalim vederek anaviv yatu veish ve'aviv Yelechu el hanara lema'an cha'el et shem kodshi. Ve'al vegadim chavulim yatu etzel kohamins beya v'yein anushim yishtu beit Eloheihem ve'anochi hishmadti et hayemori mi peneihem asher kegova arazim govon vechason hu ka'alonim ve'ashmid piryom mima'al ve'shorashav mishtaha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam sur kol halomim sadik bechol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'osei hamdaber u'mkayem shekol devorav emet v'tzedek. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenantata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lehavod u'letif'aret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachni modim la umebarchim otal yitbarashim fi kol hai tamid leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen.
Yasher
Yasher
koach.
koach.
All right, Zoe, do not go anywhere, because now that we have heard your Torah portion chanted and we've heard a little about it, you're going to tell us what it means to you. Okay. Deep breath. Nice and slow.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Take a step this way.
As most of you know in this room by now, my name is Zoe Drachler, and I can now call myself a bat mitzvah. After all my studying, preparing, practicing, writing, and more, I have finally made it. For over 2 years, I have been very dedicated and focused on being able to share this very special and memorable day with you all. I would like to start off by explaining the meaning behind my Torah portion. Out of all of the people here, I think only the people on the Bima know the true meaning of it, or even what I just read. But not to worry, that's why I'm here. Learning the meaning behind my Torah portion was truly inspiring to me. I was able to see a connection that I never knew existed. Let's unravel this quite amazing story together. The beginning is most important, so listen up. The story begins with major favoritism. Let's be more specific. Joseph was the son of Jacob and a brother to many siblings. Joseph is the favorite and most loved child out of all of Jacob's children. One of the reasons why Jacob loved Joseph so much was that he reminded him of his favorite wife, Rachel, who had died. Jacob also gave Joseph a beautiful coat of many colors, which later becomes very important. Joseph's siblings didn't fly with the extra love, attention, and gifts Joseph received. The siblings started to dislike Joseph more and more because of that favoritism. So much that they were actually planning to kill him. After careful consideration, they did not decide to kill their own brother, which personally I feel was the right decision. But they did decide to throw him into a deep, dark pit instead. Max, you don't need to worry. I won't be throwing you into a deep, dark pit anytime soon. As the story goes on, Joseph eventually gets rescued and reconnects with his family. I enjoyed learning about my Torah portion and making a personal connection to it. Throughout the story of Vayeshev, I was able to relate to it on a personal level. All of you in this room must know my amazing mom. Don't worry, we'll go into more detail about her awesomeness later throughout my speech. Unlike Jacob, my mom doesn't favor me or Max. I know everyone thinks every parent has a secret favorite child, but seriously, my mom doesn't pick her favorites. She does a very nice job at sharing her love equally throughout our small and very loving family. The way that Vayeshev shows so much raw information about picking favorites, picking sides, and loving people differently really tells an interesting story. The difference between a relationship of a parent to a child and siblings in the Torah versus my family is so different, it's almost impossible to believe. Looking back on this storyline, I see how dramatic, gruesome, and alive the Torah feels. There are so many feelings pouring out, it is almost hard to understand and relate to all of them at once. Seeing the different perspectives and interpretations of my Torah portion has really made me think. Even though the perspectives and relationships throughout the Torah are very different from my personal life, I'm still able to connect with them in my own way. Becoming a bat mitzvah has meant a lot of different things for me. From following in my family's footsteps, carrying legacies, relating to my ancestry, and more, becoming a bat mitzvah has been one of the most important and memorable things I've ever experienced. When preparing for my special day, I never really thought about what I was truly doing this for. Yes, it is important, yes, it is fun, but what was the real answer behind it all? After 2 years of asking myself this question, and now being on the Bima, I am able to answer it. The real honest answer of why I decided to become a bat mitzvah was because I wanted it. The global pandemic did not make this process easier. In fact, I think it made my studying and preparing 1,000,000 times more difficult. But I never gave up, and now I became a bat mitzvah today because it was important to me, not because my family members had done it in the past. I powered through becoming a bat mitzvah because it came important to myself. And now that is why I'm able to answer this question. Lastly, I would like to say some thank yous. First off, a huge thank you to my mentor, Gail, and Stacy Rosenthal and the CBI clergy. They have not only put so much time and effort into making sure I was ready for this special day, but they have supported me through all of my preparations. Gail and Stacy, you are such inspirations to me, and I'm so grateful for you both. You both are so wonderful. Thank you to my school friends, and dance teachers. You guys are so positive in my life, and I wouldn't know what I'd be doing without you. Next, thank you to my camp friends. You guys have been there since day one in this world of big Jewish fun, aka Camp Stein, or my second home. Thanks for all the memories. From Israeli dancing to being stuck in the cabin due to 37 billion miles away, for always being there for me no matter what. I can always count on you guys for having my back. I love you to Camp Stein and back. A huge thank you to my childhood bestie, Leah. We have always will come in a 2-pack. Thank you, Leah, for being my second half. Another huge thank you to my grandparents. Maya and Papa, you two have made my life so much fun. From amazing vacations to baking chocolate chip cookies to handing me a butter chew every time we meet, you guys have made my life so amazing. I love you two so much. Also, a thank you to my dad, John, for supporting my brother and me. Next, I'm just kidding, very large thank you to my brother. Max has helped me make my life so much easier. He has led the way through school, Hebrew, sports, camp, and more. And for this, thank you. I love you like crazy. Last, but certainly not least, a gigantor thank you to my mom. Mom, you will never understand how much you mean to me. You support me, drive me to all my dance events, take me on Mommy and Zoe dates, wash my dirty egg dish, and cheer me on in the crowd, even if it's live stream. Take silly pictures on Snapchat, cry with me when I get off the bus after camp, and care for me all the time and so much more. You mean the absolute world to me. I truly don't know what I'd be doing without your huge amounts of support, help, advice, and of course, love. Words will never describe how much I appreciate you and love you. Thank you all for coming to support me and celebrate with me. I appreciate it and all of you more than you'll ever know. Shabbat Shalom from your favorite Jewish girl, Zoe.
Shabbat Shalom. And Zoe, before we move on to the next thing, I think it's also worth noting, you mentioned that this is something that was important to you, but it also has been important in your family, and we did not yet mention that your Torah portion is the same one that your papa chanted at his bar mitzvah. So this is truly yours and something that is represented by your whole family. So with that, we're going to return the Torah to the ark. We are going to invite your grandparents and your mom and your brother up to open the ark, and then say some nice things to you. All right, let's stand, please.
יהללו את שם אדוני, כי נשגב שמו לבדו. הודו על ארץ ושמיים, וירם קרן לימו, תהילה לכל חסידיו, לבני ישראל עם קרובו. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Eitz chaim hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomchecha me'ushar, derachecha darchei noam, וכל נתיבותיך שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. חדש חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם.
We have come to this really, really special moment. Now, Zoe, you prepared for your bat mitzvah with an intensity that we don't always see. And as you chanted Torah, you were careful with every single word. This tells us something about who you are, that when you have a dream, that when you know how you want something to be, you take every step to make sure that you accomplish exactly what you want to, exactly the way that you want to. Now, in your Torah portion, what you saw was another person who had a lot of big dreams, but did not get to his dreams by following any precise path. Instead, he got thrown in a lot of pits, he got thrown in jail, he got thrown in a lot of places. And yet the dream that he had still came to be. It still came true. And so you will find that as you go through life, just like when you are learning a dance, I assume. I took dance when I was like 9. And I know that when you are preparing for dance, having every move in the right place and moving your body in the right way and being the right distance from the people on your dance team, it's very precise. And if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you mess up the whole thing for everyone, right? And this is, in many ways, how you excel, by knowing exactly what's expected of you and not only meeting that expectation, but surpassing that expectation. And we love this about you. We love this. It is such a beautiful quality. But sometimes, Zoe, sometimes you just want to turn on the music and just dance it out. Just dance it out. Just have a moment like Joseph where you get to your dreams in the most undefined way possible, right? Unexpected. And so as you go through your life, you're going to have these moments where being precise is so important, right, in order to reach that dream, but also these times where you're just going to want to dance it out, because this is also how we find the joy. And what has been so special about this day is not just about how you said every Hebrew word perfectly and how you prepared for every word of your speech and all the moments where you knew to take a breath, but the unexpected, unanticipated joy that you never knew quite how it could feel to have this much joy in one room, and how joyful we all are to be in this room with you, and how exciting that is. You can't plan that. Sometimes you just need to dance it out. So with that expectation set, that there's a lot of joy, it is possible that some people in this room may throw some sweetness at you. It's not happening yet. It's not happening until these doors behind me close and the cantor gets out of the way, because he does not want to get knocked on the noggin with a piece of joy. But if that should happen, I don't want to hear it yet. The doors are still open. It is possible that you may be surprised with joy. And this joy is not just symbolic of candy is fun, but a symbol of how much love there is in this room for you and the sweetness that you bring to this sacred space. So with that, we're still not doing it yet. With that, we offer you these words of blessing. Oh, that would have been good. Yeah.
Yevarech Adonai ve'yishmerech.
May God bless you and may God keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elaich v'chunayich.
May God's face shine on you and always be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elayich ve'yasem lach shalom, shalom.
May you always feel God's presence within you, and may you always dance your way towards peace.
Ve'yasem lach shalom, shalom.
Amen. Yay! Siman
Tov und Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov und Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman
Now
Tov,
come clean up the mess you made.
Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Siman Tov und Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov und Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov und Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu.
We cannot move on until there is no candy left. So if you are under the age of bar bat mitzvah or around the age of bar bat mitzvah, come on up. The rest of you can be seated. Yes, Mr. Langbaum, you have some work to do. There's one back there. Where was Zoe this morning?
Oh no. Zoe, there's something very special that you embody, which is a powerful femininity and a fierce strength.
I love that you embrace all things girly and all things powerful. There's just no way I'm getting through this. Ballet seems like a perfect metaphor here, an appropriate analogy for you, don't you think? People can be fooled by the grace and femininity of ballet. They think it's a delicate art form, yet nothing could be farther from the truth. It takes strength and hard work and tenacity to be a ballet dancer. You are a strong dancer on the stage and in life. I want to offer you 5 things to take with you as you go through life as a strong, powerful Jewish woman. 1 is community. To walk as a powerful woman, we need support. We need community. I want you to look out right now. Just take a moment, look out. This is your support. This is your community. Family, friends, dance friends, school friends, mentors, my friends. It's quite a crew, right? We, this community, will always be standing by you and behind you. The second is something that you've already claimed formally for yourself today by becoming a bat mitzvah. You stepped into this moment with preparation and grace. These steps to explore and discover, these next steps to explore and discover is what will connect you to your Jewish identity. There's no right way to do this journey, but your family, temple, the clergy, your amazing Camp Stein experiences, your own depth and curiosity, these will all help guide you. The third thing I want you to have in your life as a powerful woman is kindness. Kindness for others, as well as kindness for yourself. I know you set a high bar in life. You do a lot of things really well. But I want you to hold on to those high expectations in one hand, and in the other, if not equal, I want you to have more self-compassion. I want you to be kind with yourself. I want you to let yourself make mistakes and go out and give the world the gift of you. The fourth is something that I want you to give yourself, and that is a bit of vulnerability. And that is because when you are vulnerable, when you let life in, and you let it touch you at your core, your authentic self comes out in all of its realness, and it is exquisite. I feel privileged to be let into this inner vulnerable world of yours. I want you to know that your vulnerability, you being real, is very, very powerful. The last thing I want to offer you today has always been yours, and it will always be yours, and that's me. I want you to know that in your journey of life, I am always on your side, always. Even when we're cranky with each other, I lose patience, you lose patience, I'm here. There's always somewhere to land and just be without having to be on. I'm right here for you. My sweet, little, big, powerful, fierce, exquisite girl. I am proud of many things in my life, but nothing beats being your mom. I love you.
Well, Zoe, take a minute. In addition to the powerful impact you've made on your family and all of the communities that we mentioned today, you also have an important place here at CBI. And so we have a number of people from CBI who have some things to share with you. I would like to invite Stacy Rosenthal to share a little bit about your religious school journey and the honors program that you completed in becoming a bat mitzvah.
you. On behalf of the congregation, this is so we don't forget it's for you. And it's a Havdalah set. And one of the things, I'm going to open your present here because I want to show something. That this here, there's lots of pieces in here. But this spice box already has the spices in it. So you'll remember the sweetness of this day. But Havdalah is the part that separates Shabbat from the rest of the week, right? The mundane, right? And you have shown that you separate yourself from the crowd in being your own unique and special self. And so may this be a reminder not only of today, but of the journey and of all that it took to get you here today. I cannot wait to watch you continue to grow into who you are meant to be. And I hope that you will take me with you on that journey.
Next, we invite your mentor, Gail Bear, to share some words and a gift.
So, I can't believe we're here, finally. I have been Zoe's Bat Mitzvah mentor for the past couple of months. And for those of you who are not members of the Beth Israel community, this is a beautiful program that brings together young students and matches them with adults in the community who are not their parents. I think that's actually the best part because it's really meant to be for the young student, but what I've found is that it's also a gift to me as well. And I remember, and people have talked a lot about your desire for perfection and how you are, very intent on doing the best you can all the time. And and throughout our Thursday sessions, which I always looked forward to, I would say to Zoe 4 words, and I don't know, once I say them, you'll remember it. I would say, that's why we're here. Remember, because during the process, it's all part of the process, is tripping up and learning and doing, and then doing it again, and doing it a little better, but it's not about a performance, it's about the process, and that's why we're here. And what is so wonderful is that as many times as we spent on those Thursday afternoons, and you probably thought I was helping you, you were actually teaching me, and even up to today, and I think we can still say that's why we're here, because as you enter into this beautiful community and the larger community of very strong, powerful Jewish young women, you will be continuing to teach us a great deal of what it means to be a good person, a kind person, and a heartfelt person with an old soul. And that's why we're here. So with that, I will officially give you your Siddur, which is lovingly presented to you, Zoe, for having successfully achieved all that is required and more to become a bat mitzvah at Congregation Beth Israel. And this is given to you by Rabbi Kahn, Rabbi Mason Barkin, and Cantor Ettinger, and of course me.
Thank you.
Zoe, next, Wendy Carrier, representing our board of directors.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of Congregation Beth Israel, I want to wish you a mazel tov on becoming a bat mitzvah today at our historic congregation. We are so proud of you, and we officially welcome you as an adult member of not only our community, but of our congregation. So I've known you and your family for many years, and so I personally want to extend my feelings of absolute joy in being here with you and celebrating with you and your family today. You have worked really hard. I know this because I talk to your mom on the phone virtually every single day. And in the background, she's saying, Zoe is studying. And today it really showed. I mean, you were wonderful, and it fills us all with joy to be here and watch you become a bat mitzvah. And so I am honored to be up here, and it is with great pleasure that I present to you some wonderful gifts from the community, and I do have notes because there's a lot. Let's see. Okay, in here we have your bat mitzvah certificate and 2 gift certificates, one to your beloved and my beloved Camp Stein, and one for Nifty's summer experience in Israel. A tree was planted in your name in the Jewish National Fund's forest in Israel. And we have, actually your grandparents started a philanthropy fund at the Jewish Community Foundation in Zoe's name, and Congregation Beth Israel will make a donation in your honor. And there is a wonderful Kiddush cup for you to use. And lastly is, and this is amazing, a replica of a Torah open to your Torah portion. So hopefully every year on the anniversary of your bat mitzvah, you'll take a look and remember this moment fondly. So again, mazel tov to you and your family. Well done, Zoe. Shabbat shalom, kiddo.
Well, Zoe, we'll help you pack all this up to get home. You can go relax for just a moment. We are all going to stand at this time as we turn to our concluding prayers. We stand with all that joy we've been talking about as we turn to Aleinu, page 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We turn in our books to page 598, where we find words of Kaddish. We remember all of those who have died in recent days and those who have died at this time in years past. We remember those generations, Zoe, of your family who we know would be quelling to be here with you today and who represent that long line of generations who had to pass Torah in order to be here with you today. We read words of Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudashah barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who are in mourning and comfort to all who are bereaved as we say amen.
Amen.
Now, before our closing song, because I understand that's going to be quite a moment, Zoe, I'd like to invite you back up. Max, if you want to join her for Kiddush and Motzi, and then we'll tell you what's happening next. So Zoe, here is our Kiddush cup full of delicious wine / grape juice. If you'll hold that up nice and high and say the blessing. Chata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Borei peri hagafen.
L'chaim, take a big sip. Yep. And hold up that challah nice and high. You can even take the cover off and probably even unwrap it. Ooh, it's the challah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
And we would love to now, for our closing song, invite all of your camp friends to the Bema, because Camp Stein, we know, is a special place. We know it is a place where you learn to lean on your friends and family. We even lean on the trees sometimes. Those trees, some logs of which are represented on the tables at the Kiddush. Actual Camp Stein trees here with us today. All right, so you know how to do it. They're doing it. Always tomorrow.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have faith. You need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let go. You just call on me, brother, if you need a friend. We all need somebody to lean on. You just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Everybody, you just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Call me. Call me if you need a friend. Call me, somebody to lean on. Call me. Call me. Call me. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Big thank you to Eric Rendelman, our cajon player, and Jackie Huber. Did I say it wrong?
Yes, and we look forward to seeing everyone in our luncheon in our ballroom, because after you have a service in the Jewish tradition, you have to have a nosh. Eat well, celebrate well, Mazal Tov. Thank you so much for joining us.